Right, we're connecting directly onto this service. So we've got the earth spiking in the pre-scanned area. Connect it to the earth first. Turn the Genny on, and all you're listening for is a tone change. You can hear the tone change there to make a good connection. If you want a stronger connection, you could use water to pour onto it. If it's such a dry land, then it will need a signal into it. Right, that's fine. So we want this to spot on.
If we look at a lighting column, so this is a plan view looking from above, and imagine looking down and we've got our lighting column here. If we get our Genny and we hook up and we put it quite far away, let's say 2 or 3 meters away, so this is the earth wire now. I'm pretty sure that you would all agree, wouldn't you, that this earth wire is giving off a massive signal. Yeah, agree with that? So in other words, what this means in the real world is that I can't go here with my locator. If I go in that area with my locator, I'm going to pick up the earth wire, not the cable. If the lighting cable happens to be in that area, I'm not going to be able to pick it up properly. So what this means in turn is I have to move further away from the column. So instead of doing that, consider this. That's our lighting column. We get the Genny, we hook up, and we put the earth really close. Everything's tight to the column now. Everything's really, really close. And I can now do a nice tight circle around that with my locator. And it doesn't matter which way that cable goes, I can still locate it. People often ask me, how close to a column can you work to, guys? It's more about, where's your earth? Yeah, have you got that stretched out miles away and it's interfering with what you're doing? So put it nice and close on a column.
A utility detection survey should always be started with a Genny, looking for known services. A volt stick is used prior to touching any metallic street furniture, mains or services in the excavation area. It is recommended to locate street lighting first by connecting onto the metal column. This technique has the potential to save time, as in some situations the street lighting is connected to the LV main, and by applying a signal to the lighting cable, we may be able to locate the LV main and even the LV services to nearby properties. You must remember though, that if the street lighting is in a loop-in, loop-out system, which is separate to the main LV network, then only the street lighting circuit will be located, and more work must be done. It is important to note that modern housing using the PME system can often lack a physical ground at the property, making it very difficult for a Genny signal to travel from the main to the house. In this instance, a connection to the property should be made to allow the signal to travel back to the main. When tracing a street light cable, ensure you place the earth pin very close to the column. This will allow the Genny and its leads to remain in close proximity, and in turn allow us to work as close to the column with the cat as possible. The earth pin can be put into the ground at a shallow angle to minimize any contact with underground services. If there is no soft ground available, water can be used as an earth. With the Genny turned on, connect one lead to the earth pin, connect the other to the column. A change in tone should indicate that a good circuit has been made. If you find it difficult to get a connection to the column, i.e. a concrete column, a capacitance technique can be used by wrapping the cable around the column. Please note, when using capacitance techniques, there is no tone change from the Genny. At this point, the Genny can be muted by turning it off and then pressing and holding the button. Before we locate the lighting cable, we should disable the strike alert feature to avoid getting confused by any false alarms. To do this, press and hold the button on top before you squeeze the trigger. Start around 2 meters from the column, and keeping the cat still at the side of your body, perform a series of circles or semicircles around the column to localize the signal. Once you've localized the signal, narrow down the sensitivity control to pinpoint. Rotate the cat through 90 degrees and align the cat to the maximum signal level. The cable is now at 90 degrees to the cat. The cable can now be followed and traced. It is important to follow the signal and note any sudden change. For example, a sudden loss of signal over a short space usually indicates a branch has come off the line. You have passed over the joint.